travel.
The jungle's completely dark. We stumbled across a tarantula.
New Zealand is very country. It was the perfect place to cool off a bit and just relax after being in the Amazon.
This really looks like a scene out of Jurassic Park.
Absolutely, I mean, look at it.
This week on Top Travel. Staying in the house was a fantastic opportunity to relax because it didn't have that hotel feel. My suite was absolutely gorgeous. It was actually a big manor house and it was just fantastic. Beautiful soft beds, luxurious cotton, the most incredible views of stunning green surroundings. This area is completely filled with majesty and splendor, and the weather changes every 10 minutes. So the difference between the cloud cover and when the sun comes out is a wide array of every single shade of green you've ever seen. This is absolute relaxation.
The sun had finally come out and I really couldn't wait to explore. Morning, stranger.
Morning, how are you?
How was your evening?
Oh, so wonderful. And the sun is shining today, so we have to do something.
Well, guess what? I spoke to reception. They've organised a heli flip for us, so we're going to get a whole perspective of this area. And then after that, we're going fly fishing.
Yes, what a good idea. Why don't we always do what you want to do? I'm not a very good fisher.
You're going to love this though. It's an extreme sport because if you don't do it right, you can actually take your ear off.
My room is quite close to a river, so at least I could have acknowledged that there was a river there. But it was only when we got into the helicopter that we realized it was the most unbelievable body of water, and just a few hundred meters was this powerful waterfall. I've been so enthralled by this property, I didn't even realize that there was a waterfall just a few meters down.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the largest waterfalls in New Zealand. It's pretty popular for local kayakers to see if they can make it down.
But I believe the water pressure is quite strong.
It is. It has the equivalent of 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools going over there every second, so it's massive.
I saw such a magnificent art piece just off the coast. What is that?
Yeah, that's known as the Maori rock carvings, and this was done around 20 years ago by a carver down in Nelson. And he basically carved it to be a guardian of the lake for while him and his wife were here on holiday, basically.
We flew over this thing and it was just phenomenal. It jumped out of us.
I've never seen anything like it in my life. I wonder how that artist got there to actually do the art and how much time it took him. It was amazing.
I noticed very large craters in the ground with the steam rising from it. What is that?
Yeah, that's an area known as the craters of the moon. It's a geothermal landscape, basically. So the Earth's crust is very thin through here, so wherever it's thin and exposed, you have the steam just coming straight up off the magma.
And is it actual steam?
It is. A lot of it is superheated gas that's coming up through, heating up the underground water table. So you have a lot of water vapour in there, but also a lot of gas. But it's very hot. If you put your hand in a fumarole, you definitely burn it. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking me on a flip in your chopper. It was a very rare experience and completely spectacular from up there. Hello, how are you?
I'm good, I'm Brett. How are you?
Very well, thanks.
Excellent.
Nice to meet you.
You're going to give this a go?
Yes, I went fly fishing a while ago in Canada, but it was minus 20 degrees, so I didn't really bring my game face because my hands were cold. So now I'm really willing to learn the art.
Okay. Well, it's exactly that. It is an art. Doesn't require a lot of strength, it's timing. Okay, so what we need to do is remember you can't break the rod unless you slam it in a car door or step on it. The idea is hold the rod in your left hand or right hand and the line in the left hand.
I'm not a girl's girl. I really do love to play with the boys.
And forward, go back, pause. Just a little bit faster, pause, there. It's a go, go, and no, just a little bit faster.
But Janez makes it so difficult because he's so competitive. I wanted to do a bit of fly fishing, but anything I can do, he can do better.
You still have your ears. He told me that you can lose your ears doing this.
How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I think she's trying to get an unfair head start on me.
It's just your tennis elbow, really. I thought you wouldn't be able to fish.
Truthfully, most women pick it up a lot quicker than guys who, especially if they've never done it before. She did awesomely well.
I was really good, actually, first time around here.
The acceleration is from the 10 o'clock.
I've never really fished before, any form of fishing, and this was the first time I've done fly fishing.
So you can throw it out.
back at the same time?
Yeah,
That
this is fly fishing 101.
Yeah. Which is what I need.
Right.
Fly fishing is quite technical. I try to use a lot of power in the beginning because it looks like you have to throw this line out, and I could see him winding it up and throwing it out. But it's actually all about the technique. And I only figured that out after about an hour and a half.
I'd been fishing for 5 minutes. Janez got hold of that fishing rod and just spent the whole afternoon looking for fish, which, by the way, didn't catch any. And I could have been dancing on my head. They wouldn't have even noticed that I was still there.
I think she got bored after the fishing. I was fishing, I didn't really see her. She probably went back to her room or something. It is appropriate to have animal heads on your wall if you are considered a hunting lodge. It's got quite an African feel. The only thing I don't like is the springbok heads. I think it's because we beat them at rugby every time.
You're just taking that personally. But the owners of this place are Dutch, and they have a place in Cape Town, Grand Provence.
That's right.
So this room is almost like an ode to Africa. But it's very regal. I like it. There's even some pictures of when Lizzie and Phil were here.
Lizzie and Phil. Oh, of course, Lizzie and Phil.
This is so beautiful. It almost looks like we're walking through a maze to find the tennis courts.
I'm not looking, I'm just focusing.
Well, I haven't played in a while, so you've got to be gentle.
I don't know the word gentle.
There's two things in Janez's life that he loves more than anything in the world. His son and Roger Federer.
I haven't played tennis in a while, but I fancy myself a bit of a Roger Federer.
Janez isn't as good as Roger Federer when it comes to tennis.
I was quite surprised by Jeannie actually, because she's got a bit of hand-eye coordination. I fell a couple of times, only because the grass was wet.
I love it. I'm winning. This is supposed to be his game, and I'm winning.
He's such a sore loser, but Janez is the most entertaining sore loser.
Actually, that's my trick. Let Jeannie think she's good, chase me from corner to corner, then I'm going to put my game on. But by the way, there's a fence behind this hedge.
I'm totally whipping you.
Mind my top spin.
I love tennis.
Hell's Gate is the most active geothermal area in the whole of New Zealand. The smoke you see behind us is pure sulfur.
Which means it smells wonderful. It smells like rotten eggs, which is why I can imagine they named it Hell's Gate. I can actually hear the bubbles boiling in these pools.
Yes, the geothermal activity here is very prevalent. The pool's actually, the one just behind us there, was used by the Maori people to cook their food traditionally. So as opposed to digging a hangi, what they would do is they would come here, put their food in a little flax basket and drop it in the water. After an hour, voila, you've got a lovely boiled meal.
It's such an amazing concept to consider that those pools are often over 100 degrees Celsius and there's nothing heating it except for the earth itself. It's amazing. These are the Kakahi Falls, and it's in fact the warmest waterfall in the southern hemisphere. That water, believe it or not, is 40 degrees Celsius. Now, the Maori warriors used to come here after wars and bathe in this beautiful sulfur water to heal all of their wounds.
What we've got here, bro, is white mud. Ordinarily, it doesn't look that impressive, but what we'll do is you put some of it in your hands here, just grab a handful.
It's almost like sand.
It is. And what you do is you squeeze it a little bit in your hand, and then when it's in your hand, you rub it together like this, causing a bit of friction. And it should turn into a runny, gooey liquid.
In just a couple of seconds, this solid matter has turned into the biggest mess I've ever seen. The only problem is, it's boiling water, so I'm gonna have to walk around with this all day. It's absorbed into your hands, it made them feel so soft. And apparently, they use this mud for all kinds of beauty products, for face masks and creams, all that good girly stuff. I can do the haka now. Kamata, kamata!
Well, not on my team, you won't. That's how my little sister does it, but you're halfway there.
Why is this considered to be the most geothermal spot in the world?
The superheated thermal chamber, which sits below us, is only about 2.5 to 2 kilometres below our feet right now. Elsewhere in the world, it can be anywhere between 200 to 1,000 kilometres below. For instance, in South Africa, it's probably about 1,000 to 2,000 kilometres, so it's really safe. Here, 2 kilometres, really dangerous.
It looked disgusting. I rolled my eyes and I thought, where on earth have we come? They're just these massive pools of boiling mud.
The mud that we have here is the same type of mud that you would get at any beauty clinic around the world. However, it's not chemically treated. It comes right from that place there into the mud bath and onto your skin, so it's 100% organic.
And then our guide told me about all the incredible healing properties found in that mud. So this water is about 30 to 35 degrees Celsius, and it almost feels like you're swimming in a dam until you touch the bottom. Yeah. This is awesome. Let the healing begin. Hello.
You enjoying yourself in the mud?
Oh, I'm just rolling around in the mud. This is fantastic, but the mud's very, very soft.
Oh, it's 100% organic and it's silky smooth. In fact, that same mud that you're sitting in there was taken from the very park that we were walking through earlier.
So how long do I stay in here for?
20 minutes in the mud bath, and then you can spend as long as you like hanging out in the mineral spa.
When I picture beauty treatments, this is the last thing on my mind, but this obviously has a lot of healing properties.
Oh, definitely. The mud, as you leave it on your body there, will actually withdraw all the negative toxins that are in your body from the inside out, so it has a holistic healing experience, I suppose. All right, I better go check on Janez right now.
All right, enjoy. See you later.
See ya.
The more time you spend in that sulfuric mud bath, the more toxins are released. So you can imagine, I was like a pig in a sty and I stayed in that thing for ages.
Little does she know that when she gets to Sydney in 3 days' time, she'll still smell like sexy old Hell's Gate in Rotorua. Hey, how you going there, mate?
Oh, Hayden, your masseuse has this amazing ability to make time stand still. What's she doing to me?
Well, Auntie Rupeni is very experienced at this. She's been one of the senior therapists here at Hell's Gate for many years, and she's an exponent, if you will, of the Maori art of massage called mirimiri.
Which is what?
Well, mirimiri focuses on physical relaxation, but also spiritual relaxation as well.
Now, I like quite a hard massage, but that woman had hands so strong, it felt like I was being abused by a giant. That was a great massage though, fantastic.
And with this piece here on the outer, we're going to take that one back under.
Down so we get a nice even line like so.
Carving is an ancient form of Maori art, and it was in fact a way of telling stories when there wasn't the written word, pretty much like there would have been totem poles in South America. So I'm going to give this a try.
Right.
What's the secret?
Patience is one of the biggest things.
Patience. So I'm just going to take my time with this.
That's righty.
And what are we actually making?
We're making a harakeke puti puti, which is a flax flour.
A harikiki puti puti. Okay. Difficult, or is it just one pattern all the way?
One pattern all the way.
So it's got to come through like that?
Yep. Tension nice and tight.
Okay, got it.
From the top underneath.
Oh, like that? Yeah, got that.
I'm going to bring that one back under again.
Back under and through.
That's right.
Okay, that's pretty easy actually. Oh, that's a piece of cake.
I'm hacking away at this thing, but it's nearly finished. Ah, there you go. I took my time with this, but finally it's finished. In fact, carving is such a treasured Maori art form that this is in fact the only place in New Zealand that I would have been able to do this. Everywhere else it's reserved for men. But I leave the weaving for the men. How was that?
This harakeke started off as a simple reed, and feel how strong it is. They actually used to use it as a fishing line.
Oh wow, that is
Can't
tough.
unfold that.
Why is it called a harakeke? What does that mean?
Harakeke is the word, the Maori word for flax.
Aha,
Okay.
so I made your flower. Ta-da!
Thank you, Janez.
And I'll take this one, thank you.
I've got to varnish that first, and then you can keep
There
it.
you go.
But you really want this in your house. I thought you were a huge rugby fan.
I need to learn how to make the next flower.
All right, mate.
I don't know what's wrong with me, but all the New Zealand guys were laughing at my shorts.
They seem to be very butch here.
Oh, mate, couldn't believe a guy showed up here in those pink shorts. If a Kiwi wore those, mate, he'd be shot.
If there's one thing that's for sure, Jeannie and I are a bit crazy. So we're about to roll down a hill in what's called a zorb globe.
I don't know about this idea too much. Where did this crazy concept come from?
Well, we came up with the idea right here in Rotorua, New Zealand. You know, it's a New Zealand invention. We're about 14 years old now, so it's really, you know, we've been going for quite a while. What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to throw a bit of water inside the zorb, throw you inside and push you down a hill.
How
Pretty
safe is
simple.
it?
Very safe. You know, we don't hurt people.
Zorbing, what a crazy sport. Only the Kiwis could have discovered that one.
Cool. The only way to get in, guys, do a big Superman-style head-first dive.
I don't believe this. What am I doing?
Okay, here goes.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Massive plastic balls. And then you've got to climb into the middle of it and roll down a hill. I mean, who thought of that?
Okay, Jeannie, jump in. Mate, it's really good fun, eh? Like, I always have a comment, you never know until you go. Once they experience it, they'll have a different mindset on what the zorb actually is. It's the most fun in the world. If bungee jumping is extreme scary, you know, zorb is up there, extreme fun.
It's something that I probably would never have done in my life. But I thought, I've got to do it. I've got to know what it feels like to be inside a washing machine.
So much fun, so much adrenaline, but not the kind of adrenaline that terrifies you, because once you're in there, you feel like you're in this little cocoon, so you're protected.
Terrifying, yet so much fun.
The zorb is about to give birth to me.
I am officially a drowned rat. That was so hectic. It's faster than what you would ever expect it to be. And Janez and I were literally just rolling around in this water.
We were
It's a
molded
mess.
into one human.
We were. We know that we often share a brain, but in the zorb, we actually were one.
We shared a body. High fives.
That zorb was like being in a washing machine. I've still got bruises because you're basically being mushed around in this giant ball. And if you think that was a fun experience, wait until you see what we did afterwards.
The shweeb is basically a lying down bicycle in a capsule attached to railings, and you can pedal, and it's almost like a roller coaster, only you are powering it with your legs. So from wet zorbing to dry shweebing. And because Janez is so competitive, I hope to beat him in the shweeb. It'll be really sweet if I can do that.
Now, the South African record is 57.5. The world record is 57.1. So I'm going to do it in 57 flat.
Okay.
Is that possible?
It has been done. Someone who works here has done it in
Really?
4.9. So, yeah,
Oh, okay.
let's do it.
So I'll have to
You
do that.
invented the shweeb. What
Yeah,
exactly is it?
The shweeb is the most efficient human-powered vehicle on Earth. It's a mixture of recumbent cycle technology and monorail technology.
Wow, and how long is this track?
This track is two 200-meter circuits interlocking, so the inside track becomes the outside track, and neither has any advantage.
This definitely could be pulled off as transport for the future because there's no gas involved.
Yeah, that's the plan. It's zero emission, and it should be able to. The average person should be able to get up to pretty high speeds, like 30, 40 kilometers per hour, using about the same energy it would take to walk along the street.
That's pretty incredible. But now, my adrenaline's going.
Okay.
I'm ready to conquer the
Try
shweeb.
and win.
Shweeb, actually, I'd rather forget about that experience.
The shweeb is sweet, man.
shweeb isn't exactly what I would call a conventional mode of transport, but it's a really rare experience because it's like being in a roller coaster that you are powering by yourself. It was amazing to see what that did for my thighs.
I was meant to break the South African record and I didn't. I lost out by like 4 seconds. My time was 1:02 and the winning time was 57. So I was about 4.5, 5 seconds off the pace.
Of course, I lost. But my consolation prize of losing was that I was still only 7 seconds slower than the female champion.
Well done. Well done.
Oh, my legs feel like jelly. The procedure for dinner is that everybody meets in the drawing room at around 6 o'clock, where you have these gorgeous drinks and cocktails and a few little canapes. And while you're there, you put in your order for what you would like for dinner. Then they call you to your own secluded area where you have your private dining.
Now, there isn't a set restaurant in the lodge. There are, in fact, 20 private dining areas where you can have your own exclusive meal without being bothered by anyone. And with a menu like this, pea soup, clams, gnocchi, duck, and then the desserts. How on earth is a girl supposed to stay skinny?
This feels like a scene out of Asterix and Obelix. The food just keeps on coming.
I know, it's so nice. Luxury, I missed it.
Not to South America, I'm sure you did.
Thank you very much. This is really another course.
I have
Oh, that looks fantastic. Thank you very much.
I have one corner in my stomach left.
I can find more room, especially for dessert.
Thank you. You've got quite a lot of family living in Sydney, I believe.
I've got a huge family that lives there. I'm the only girl out of like 25 cousins, and most of them live in Sydney.
That's the most disappointing news I've heard all year.
No girls.
No girls.
I'm the only one.
But you know what? They always say that Sydney is more beautiful than Cape Town, so I'm going to judge it with my own eyes.
Sydney's apparently spectacular. I cannot wait to go. And I'm going to see my family.
Hopefully we get some time to spend with them.
I hope you behave like a gentleman around my family.
Oh boy. I'm going to have the best stories to tell them about all your wild behaviour.
Well, cheers.
And I won't hold back.
Sydney.
Cheers to Sydney.
Cheers.
Cheers to us.
On Top Travel.
I can't believe you're going for a surfing lesson.
I can't believe you're not going for a surfing lesson.
I promise you I don't need one.
I can't wait to see him swallow half this ocean's water. I became a successful surf eye on Bondi Beach.